This is Jacob's Algebra, Chapter 11, Lesson 7 on dividing fractions. We've worked through the first couple of problems in Set 2. Now we're going to work the last problem in Set 2. This is problem number 8. And problem number 8 says, express each of the following quotients as a monomial or fraction in simplest terms. You must simplify your answer at the end. So we're going to skip straight down to part D. So looking at number 8, part D, the problem says 6x minus 6y over x minus y cubed divided by 6x plus 6y, and that's divided by x minus y squared. Okay, when you are dividing fractions, the first thing you do is copy the first fraction, and I'm going to do that beneath here because there's not a ton of room. So I'm copying my first fraction, change your divided to a times, and then flip over your second fraction. So I'm going to put x minus y squared on the top and 6x plus 6y on the bottom. Now, when you're multiplying, you always look to see if there are things we can cancel out. Well, I have an x minus y squared in the numerator and an x minus y cubed in the denominator. That means I can divide both of these by x minus y squared. So x minus y quantity squared divided by itself is going to be 1. And x minus y quantity cubed divided by x minus y quantity squared is going to be just x minus y. So now I can't actually, just by looking at it, tell what else there is to factor. So what else is a common factor? So I'm going to factor what I have. In this first numerator, I have 6x minus 6y. Both of those have the common factor of 6. So I'm going to pull out the 6 and say that that is 6 times x minus y. And then we're over the denominator of x minus y. And then we have times 1 over, and then this denominator, notice I have 6x plus 6y. I have 6 as a common factor again. So this is 6 times x plus y. Now notice we have an x minus y that can cancel with an x minus y. We have a 6 that can cancel with a 6. And what we are left with for part D is just 1 over x plus y. So that's how we would work part D. Let's look now at part E. So if we have number 8, part E, that problem is x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x plus 1, and that is divided by x minus 3. Now, since it doesn't show a fraction, I'm going to make this a fraction of 1. Remember, anytime we have divided, we copy our first fraction, which is x squared minus 4x plus 3 all over x plus 1. Change the divided to a times and flip over our second fraction, 1 over x minus 3. Now, just looking at it, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to do here, but our numerator can be factored. So if we factor our numerator, and we can do this with our grid method if you like. So let's draw our box and put in our grid lines. We know that we need an x squared in this first box. Let me get back in pen mode. We need an x squared in this first box, and we need a 3 in this second box. And we need these two to add up to negative 4x. Well, how would we make an x squared with x times x? How can we make a 3 with a 3 and a 1? Now, our middle term is negative while our final term is positive. That means both of these have to be negative. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. X times negative 1 is negative x. Negative 3x plus negative x is negative 4x. So this is how we factor it. So now I'm going to copy our numerator in factored form. X minus 1 times x minus 3. And then the denominator of that fraction is x plus 1. And then we're multiplying it by 1 over x minus 3. So we can see our x minus 3's cancel. And what we're left with is x minus 1 over x plus 1. And that cannot be simplified any further. That's as far as it goes. So let's do just one more from problem number 8. So problem 8, part F. What if we have x to the 4th minus 16 over x minus 2, and that is divided by x cubed plus 2x squared. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is write this second fraction, this second term as a fraction over 1. So we copy our first fraction, but you know, looking at the numerator, we can see that this is a difference of 2 squares. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as the difference of 2 squares. X squared plus 4 times x squared minus 4. And then our denominator is x minus 2. And then we change our divided to a times, and we flip over our fraction. But I'm going to go ahead and factor this. We have an x cubed and an x squared, so I can factor out an x squared. And we end up with x squared times x plus 2. Now it doesn't look like there's anything to cancel out at this point, but x squared minus 4 can be factored. That's also a difference of 2 squares. So let me go ahead and copy out what we have here, x squared plus 4. And then our x squared minus 4 can be factored as x plus 2 times x minus 2. And then this is over x minus 2. Sorry, that doesn't look much like an x minus 2. Times 1 over x squared times x plus 2. So we have an x minus 2 that cancels an x minus 2, and x plus 2 that cancels an x plus 2. And what we end up with here is x squared plus 4 all over x squared. And that's as far as you can take that one. So that was number 8. It's just like number 13 that is assigned for homework. Anytime you see something and nothing cancels out, make sure you check to see if you have something that's factorable. You should be able to recognize on sight anything that's a difference of 2 squares. If you have 2 things that are being subtracted and the first thing and the second thing are both squares, then you have a difference of 2 squares. So x to the 4th minus 16 factors as x squared plus 4 times x squared minus 4. But x squared minus 4 is also a difference of 2 squares. Excuse me. So that can be broken down into x plus 2 times x minus 2.